Autumn. Day 164. St Cyrus to Braehead. Route: St Cyrus, Montrose, Ferryden, Lunan, Braehead. County: Aberdeenshire, Angus. This week has felt like carnage, from last-minute booking of hotels, taking huge chunks from the project budget, through to not reaching the end goal at the end of each day, and subsequently each week. I started the day feeling quite optimistic and waited for my bus at Hillside just after 7 o'clock. It was a few minutes late because of roadworks, but I arrived in Montrose in time to catch the connecting bus. When I got off the bus at Montrose, I popped into a local stationery shop to replace the ballpoint pen I'd lost when I was walking yesterday. The next bus was the X7 to Aberdeen. It didn't arrive. It's okay, I tell myself. What will be, will be. It's hard to stay calm and not get stressed about the fact that today was going to be a big walk on the back of a wild camp. Whilst waiting for the bus, and one Greg's coffee later, I was desperate for the loo and popped into Nickel and Dime to see if I could use the staff loo. But the sales assistant said there wasn't one. When the bus came, it was just after 9 and it dropped me off by the public conveniences at St Cyrus. But they were closed. I was so desperate I contemplated going behind the block, but this was just a bit too open. There was a cafe across the road where I stuck my head in and asked, "Can I borrow the loo?" "You can't borrow it, but you can use it," said Karen. When I went to purchase a rocky road, she said it was on the house. The weather started off absolutely beautiful, and the flooded fields were bathed in sunlight. It took around 2 hours to walk from St Cyrus to Montrose, the same time I'd spent travelling and waiting for buses. When I got to Montrose, I passed a street cleaner who commented on the dark clouds that were suddenly approaching. "It'll turn around 1." With no set destination in mind tonight, and a black cloud lingering on the horizon, this made leaving Tesco, after a very sugary cup of tea, difficult. When I did eventually leave Tesco, it was after 1:30, and as I walked to Ferryden, the clouds grew more intense. At Ferryden, the gale started again, and the rain followed. With each step, I repeated the mantra: "The wind will dry out the rain. The wind will dry out the rain. The wind will dry out the rain." My sister texts me, "How's camp?" How could she not know that just made me feel guilty when I haven't camped this week? I put up my brolly, which was a fool's errand, and then to complete the look, I started to waddle along the back roads, desperate to find a spot to relieve myself. I wanted my sister to say it was all okay that I booked a hotel, but she responded with, "Oh," and I called up and complained, "Why do you always do that? Don't you know it makes me feel guilty?" To which she hung up. As the Met Office had forecast, the wind and the showers stopped at 4, but I was chilled to the bone. Cold had seeped through my skin up to my elbows. I booked a hotel in Arbroath and then caught the bus. Is this a sign of winter? And am I actually going to camp? It feels as though there is a fine line between optimism and realism. Walking in the rain is fine if you know I have a set destination in mind and shelter each night. I felt anxious this evening and contacted the Arts Council to see if the budget that had been allocated could be used to stay in a hotel each week. I also booked accommodation for the next couple of nights and considered other ways of finding somewhere to stay, such as the village hall, churches and community centres. I was worried, and it took this anxiety to email the Arts Council. I nervously pressed send. Distance: 20.5 kilometres. Total: 3,245.7 kilometres.